Big Kel
Big Kel
and Kahuna
and Kahuna
podcast.
podcast. Mwah. For sure.
Welcome, episode 24 of Big Kel
and Kahuna.
I'm Kelly,
And I'm Alec.
and today is the
31st.
31st of May.
How is it that you've gotten the day wrong twice?
Because I was looking at 21.
That's from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks technically.
Yeah.
All right, so it's the 31st. We got U.S. Open coming up next weekend.
Which tournaments are
Or is
right
it the
now?
weekend after that? It's
'Cause I s-
Father's Day, so it's 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, I need it. What do you want for Father's Day?
I don't know yet.
Want me to get you a hooker?
We got Comic-Con
When's that?
or Galaxy Con. Oh, it's actually this weekend, the 31st and the 1st. So we might have to go tomorrow. That'll be fun to see.
I hope Dan doesn't see this because I'm not going to go to his little reception thing tomorrow. I'm going to pretend like I forgot.
What?
Sorry, Dan.
Don't do
Hope
that.
you have a prosperous wedding, buddy.
At least call the guy.
No. I don't want to go. There's going to be 30 people there that I don't even know.
Just send an email.
The only people I know are him and his brother. I'm going to pretend. Remember what Larry David did when he showed up the day after the party and went, "Oh, did I miss the party?"
You need to just ask him one question.
I'm going to text him on Tuesday like, "What time
No.
is it this
Just
Sunday?"
say,
He's
Dan,
like, "Oh,
how
last
many,
Sunday."
How many single women are coming? And if it's 3 or more, you're in.
I'm not going to hit on single women sober. Are you kidding me?
Why not?
It's no fun.
It's a wedding. It's like fish in a barrel.
It's a reception or a celebration. It's not even a wedding. He's doing like a court wedding with some close family.
It's equivalent to a wedding.
I'll send him like $100. I'm just not going to go.
Oh, wow.
And the reason I said I had to be drunk to hit on women is because I have to get on their same wavelength. So I have to depress my mindset to be able to
numb yourself
communicate with them.
for fear of rejection.
Oh, I have no fear of rejection. I've been rejected so many times
Then go
by you.
ask.
I'm going to get that ass, boy.
Then go ask.
I'm not.
You can fail 2 out of 3 and still be considered king.
No, I'll just go to Japan once I get desperate.
That's pathetic.
Me and Max are doing that in a couple weeks.
Pathetic.
Why is it pathetic?
You-
Why is getting an Asian woman pathetic?
'Cause if
Who's
you gotta
traditional?
More than like 15 minutes.
Has
for
a
phone,
respectful
there's
culture?
A problem.
No, the problem is all the women my age are liberal, and their minds are
up.
clogged with social media,
Date up, date down.
and they have the wrong sense of what a hero is.
Well, I would think women.
And I'm not going to date up. I've tried dating
28
up.
to 30, well, 26 to 30 for you should be fine.
Yeah.
They can't, no, they definitely can't be as messed up as 22 to 26.
I'm sure I have some sort of bias because all the women, I guess I'm just getting the bad cohort of women on dating
you could
apps.
be, but I got to believe there's as many good women out there as there's good men. Now you just got to go find them.
Yeah, I'm going to plead the fifth.
But you ain't
on
going to
that.
find
I'm
them
gonna plead
hanging
the
around
fifth
the
on that
house.
one. I honestly don't have a desire. I've told you this multiple times. I don't have a
Yeah.
desire to date right now.
That's not healthy.
My life's pretty fucking sweet. I don't need to ruin it with a woman. Oh,
Well, then
Stephanie
you're
said
looking-
this yesterday.
You're looking at the wrong type of woman.
Does this
man.
dress make my face look
Does it-
fat?
Listen, stop. I don't want to be apologist.
You know who my
But
perfect woman is?
You need to find somebody who's complimentary.
You know who my perfect woman
Challenges
is?
you.
Candace Owens.
Yeah, she could
I
be.
make an exception for Candace Owens, but I want a woman who is dignified and is more eloquent than me.
Yeah, you want an
Because if she does that, she can prop me up, and I can do the same with her,
You want
and it's
an
mutually beneficial.
intelligent woman who can clearly articulate a point of view and is rational and is not easy to anger.
I don't think I'm going to find that on Bumble. All I find
Not
is
on
single moms with mixed kids.
Not on Bumble. Fuck, is Bumble worse than Tinder?
It empowers women because they make the first move. And
Do they feel better about themselves after their DTW and they get stood up
well,
after a date?
you know what I found out now.
get that.
Now women finally get to understand how stressful it is to do an icebreaker or make an opening move, because I haven't seen anything funny from women's opening moves. It's either a gif of a Nickelodeon or Disney Channel show from 20 years ago, or them just saying "hey" with multiple Y's. And you know the number of Ys directly correlates to the level of attraction.
Look, man.
But there's no quips. There's no stories.
Look,
no would you rathers.
Look. When I was your age, you actually had to physically walk up to a woman and talk to them face to face, or on the phone after you had already walked up to them and talked to them face to face.
Yeah, but also
you guys are getting off easy.
But also
You're texting with emojis.
It's not.
What stupid shit is that?
We're not getting off easy. You see, you just made a mortal error right
that?
there, because when you were younger, when you were my age, your 10 is now a 7. And nowadays, 7s are getting hit up on Instagram DMs by sheiks offering to send them to Abu Dhabi to get pooped on.
But that's
so because of social media, you now have to compete with everybody. And women always see something better. And they don't understand the concept of the grass is not always greener on the other side.
Because the state of the world today with technology.
Yeah, I'm jaded.
Can
and
I finish,
you're an anomaly because you got lucky.
But the rating scale of 1 to 10's the same. There were women that... Farrah Fawcett was a near 10 in the 70s.
Farrah Fawcett's like an 8 now.
Oh, she's not.
Yeah.
Who's better than her now?
Sydney Sweeney, Amy De Armas,
No.
Alexandra Daddario, Kaylee Cuoco.
No.
All of them.
No.
Yeah. Farrah Fawcett had B cups and feathered hair.
But that's why she had a style.
But then again, you also think Jonah Jett's attractive, and she looks like an adolescent boy. So what do you know?
Jet. In the late 70s, early 80s, Joan Jett was smoking.
Her and her dynamic dyke duo or whatever her band was.
Blackhearts. What are you talking
The
about?
Blackhearts? That's odd.
She's like the only lady in it.
They all looked butch. They're
dudes.
Well, you have a picture over there of like 4 women.
That's the Runaways.
Oh, now that's behind you. Is she in that one too?
Yeah, she should be on the right with the black hair.
Was she in Heart? Who was in Heart?
Ann and Nancy Wilson.
Who was the singer that sang Barracuda?
I think that's
Ann Wilson. Barracuda.
Yeah, it should be Ann, the brunette.
I
think I got that right.
We've discussed this.
Nancy's the guitar player.
We've discussed this. Sure. I have good musical taste, heavily in part due to your musical taste, but also, I forgot to mention a great part of the equation as to why I have such a diverse range of musical tastes.
Yes, the video game.
Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
God, Guitar Hero was so cool. I remember, back when we were living in, what was that house? I think the one at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Is that Pouring Rain?
Yeah. But I would always have to, it was pulling teeth with Mom to get her to play Wii with me or play Guitar Hero with me. But I remember the first time I ever got 100% on Guitar Hero was to the song School's Out.
Oh, Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, good song.
Alice Cooper
right,
looks more feminine than Joan Jett.
Oh, no.
Come on, we're getting no views. I have to have controversial takes to anger people on the internet so they'll comment because I upset them.
Yeah.
And then that engagement turns
true,
into money in a couple years.
I'll be honest with you and tell you, I don't think there's that many Alice Cooper fans on
They're probably all dead by now.
That would get that upset to put a comment or a review.
The Alice Cooper fans...
We'll challenge it. Alice Cooper fans, let us know if you think he looks more like a woman.
The Alice Cooper fans are like Dick calling Cox about Netflix. They don't know how to get on the internet.
Yeah, that was funny. All right, so what else we missed from last week? I think that's it, right?
Last week's recap?
Yeah, we're fine. All right, you want to cover...
We just talked about bullshit
the race last time, or just go right to the qualifying this time?
We could talk about the race last time. Monaco was Monaco, right? Yeah. Complete disaster.
Yeah, that 2-stop stuff. I think they were talking about next year, saying the first stop's got to be before 25 laps or something. I think they should just get rid of Monaco. All Monaco is just a facade for the rich to gallivant. Yeah, well, they got to have that because it's the biggest pull for them. So, but they were talking about changing the course.
Yeah. So what they were talking about, the
longer runouts.
The chicane after the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
They want to get rid of that, which I'm all for.
Why?
So that there could be a longer straight.
Oh, straight.
So you could potentially
take away the turn, or you could potentially
no. So you come out the tunnel, right, and at the end of the hill you brake and you do that chicane to the right and back to the left. You get really close to the wall, turning left, and then you have the 90-degree turn left. They want to get rid of that chicane. There's elongate that straight
Into
to
the
increase
90-degree turn?
Yeah, to increase the possibility of overtakes.
Oh.
But those cars are too big for that
Yeah, it's
that
gotta
street.
stay. All right, what'd you see in today in Spain?
Well, I saw. Well, there were regulations from last week that people thought would put a damper on McLaren's success.
They put a damper on it
No.
last week.
I mean, Christian Horner said before qualifying, it's a race for third, and he was absolutely right. And the McLarens were what 4/10 up on everybody. So we shall see.
We should do betting next time.
We can bet.
No. What we should do is
We should bet the podium like
Stop.
$10.
before we broadcast. We'll either do it on the phone or we'll do it there. And the next qualifying, we'll pick the first 3 that fall out in Q1.
Lance
The
Stroll.
first five.
Lance Stroll.
Yep. It'll be one of the green teams, Colapinto or whatever.
Colapinto, Francisco Colapinto.
Yeah.
One
of the Saba's cars.
Bortoletto from
Okay.
Kick. Or
Stroll.
Who's Ollie Berman's teammate at Haas? No, Ocon's good. So if a
Yeah.
Haas was gonna be out, it'd be Berman.
It wouldn't be. I put Stroll as
Stroll,
4 out.
Colapinto. Ollie Berman can get into Q3 or Q2. Stroll, Colapinto, Sonoda.
No, he shouldn't be in the bottom. We already had
Sonoda
4 of
hasn't
them.
made Q3
We already
in
had. Who were the
3
4 we
weeks.
said?
Colapinto, Stroll. You said someone from not Alpine. I don't care. Nobody. This
One
isn't
of the Sauber
interesting.
teams.
One of the Kick, which is the green
Yeah.
and the black that you don't like. So that's Bortoletto,
It's got to be one of the Haas guys.
Ollie Berman,
Yeah.
because Ocon's better than Berman.
Yeah.
So that's 4. Who would your 5th be?
Who the
That's
bottom
Coors.
team?
I'm thinking Sonoda.
Yeah, maybe.
Sonoda rarely gets out of Q3 nowadays.
Maybe.
And they were talking about that during or prior to the start of Q3.
Well, they think his
I'm
car.
conflating
he think
Q3
he
with
fucked his-
Q1.
They think he fucked his car up.
Yeah, but he sucks.
No,
But
no. They think he got damage to the skid board underneath
well,
when he hit a chicane and he couldn't control the ass.
not
end.
surprised. But they were saying prior to Q3, all these teams get to do the data analysis of both team members, which is a huge
Right.
advantage.
Well, you can't do it if you don't have
And
a
then
second
Max
one.
Verstappen just has his own data.
Right.
I don't know how Sonoda is still.
Well, they're not going to go back
The only
to
reason he's
Lawson.
still there is because they won't go back to Lawson.
No, they can't do it. If they're going to do
and
another,
Hadjar is not good
if
enough.
they're going to do another change, it'll be somebody else to secure for next year.
Wow.
So the others can't get him. So it's going to be somebody's reserve driver.
I'm still looking forward to next year. I
Yeah.
hope there's going to be a big shift just because of the change of the cars. But yeah, so qualifying in Barcelona. You know how they always have that list? I'm in España, in Barcelona.
Yeah.
So first was Piastri. The track record was
No,
set.
Norris was first.
No.
Sure about that?
I'm positive. You can talk.
Alright.
Let me get the stats.
They did go 1-2.
But the track record was 1:11.38
That was Norris,
0.38
yeah.
last year. This year, I think Piastri did a 1:11.5.
Okay, well, that's not too
Yeah,
bad.
1:11.546. So it's Piastri in first, Norris in second, Verstappen third, Russell fourth, Hamilton fifth. So yeah, I was
Who's
right
sixth?
upstairs.
Leclerc,
Antonelli,
Antonelli. Good.
then Leclerc, then Gasly, then Hadjar.
Who the bottom 5?
Yuki Tsunoda, Colapinto, Sainz, which is interesting, but
Yeah.
he messed up his car. Ocon and Hülkenberg.
Wow, I didn't expect Ocon to be down there. All right, well, that was today in España with Barcelona.
So that
All right,
race is at
so,
9 a.m. tomorrow. Who you got? No.
For the race?
No, let me rephrase that question. How far ahead will Norris or Piastri be from second place? Unless second place is also McLaren.
No, even if it's McLaren or not, I think it 5.
How far ahead do you think they'll be
5,
from
8
second
seconds.
place? I think they'll clear or third place. I think they'll clear third by 15 seconds.
It's a fast track.
Yeah, but did you
But
see
I don't
that?
know. I don't know the history of yellow flags.
There's not that many here.
Oh, okay.
You don't get that many yellow flags here. There's only like one bad
You
turn.
can pass in a lot of places.
Yeah, it's a wide track. There's so much runoff, so
Oh, we're curious
very
to see.
forgiving.
All right. Anything crazy went on this week?
There's a
Still waiting for the FBI to release stuff about Epstein, and then Jan 6th, they keep teasing it.
I've been following drama about Twitch. You know Twitch?
No.
So you know live streaming.
Yeah.
That's what Twitch does.
I thought you did that off of Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah, but Twitch was the original.
Okay.
So there are streamers who live stream them talking about current events or video games or a combination. Or you got women in bathing suits in bathtubs in their apartment because the terms of service of the website said that if you're in a bathing suit,
What's
it's
this got to do
technically
with
not
Twitch,
sexual.
Alec?
There's this guy called Hassan Piker who is very favorable of the Houthis and Hamas.
Okay.
And he's been going about it with this other dude, Asmongold, who is a Slav, but right-leaning. He's not even right-leaning, he's just logical. And they've been going at each other. So, at the beginning of saying this, I thought
You're
it would
telling
be
me
more
shit about
interesting.
two no-names talking shit about stuff they don't know?
Well, that's how I feel when you talk about all these dumbass
With their
movies from the
opinion?
60s I'll never watch.
Yeah, but you make it sound like there's some kind of fucking educated individual who's got a point of view and,
Well,
probably
fine.
still anti-Semite.
You get nothing.
We'll go from there.
Whoa,
All right, what else we got? Anything else with Trump and those guys? No, I don't think so.
we got the cat fucking.
We don't have
stuff.
Karens melting down on Teslas. We do have Karens melting down about free Palestine shit still. That nonsense with Harvard's still going on. The president had to send something to Newsom to tell him you can't have guys win, trans guys or trans women win the women's sporting events for the state track and field. So they're still going to let them compete, but then they're going to put their times in a special category.
Let me get close to the mic before I say this.
We need to fix it.
I don't know why this is the hill that liberals choose to die on, men and women's sports.
I don't understand.
I think putting the politics aside, there's a very simple solution. 3 divisions. Men, women, trannies. Let the trannies fight it out between each other. You could have male to females fight female to males. Don't matter.
No. But you notice there's never a trans man's issue in sports.
What do you mean, like women transitioning to men? Well, of course, because they don't have the bone structure or the
They
testosterone
don't
to have an
a physical
advantage.
advantage. That's what this is. That's all it is. It's unfair. And it's technically a violation of Title IX, but that's fairness in sports.
I like that Riley Gaines figure. She was one of the first NCAA swimmers to speak out.
They
on
gave
it.
her a big settlement, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they wouldn't give her the first place.
Because Leah Thomas got
I
it,
think
right?
they tied and they gave it to Leah Thomas, the trophy. So, we'll see how that is. All right. Not too many crazies going on with the Dems this week, except for that knucklehead Jasmine Crockett, after all this shit came out about Biden and his mental instability, saying Trump's mentally deranged. She's trouble, man.
Who? Jill?
Jasmine Crockett.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, you do. It's that African-American gal from Texas, always talking shit all the time. Those Hodwink brothers give her shit all the time.
Hodge twins.
Hodge twins.
Is she the representative who talks in broken English?
The sassy inner city black gal.
Yeah.
A mantra that she's carrying. Yeah.
I don't like it.
I've seen her before. She's quite eloquent, but she's playing a caricature, and I don't think it's going to serve her well.
Speaking of politics, I haven't been that interested in U.S. politics lately, but I have been going down a rabbit hole because Candace Owens did like a 6-part series on Bridget Macron.
Yeah. The dude?
It's a dude. It's a dude that at 30...
Just like Michelle Obama's a dude.
Well, Big Mike is... There's not proof for Big Mike. There's tangible proof for Bridget Macron. Well...
She smacked the shit out of Emmanuel the other
dude,
day.
she facepalmed in public. If they're doing that in public...
You know, if that was me, I'd be like, Bam.
Equal rights.
While you're on TV.
Equal rights,
so why
equal
is she
fights.
A dude?
So okay,
That's what Candace says?
I'm gonna use the pronouns of the person at the time. So when Bridget Macron met whatever the dude's name is,
You just call him Manny.
Manny, he was 14
All right.
and she was 39. She was a drama teacher.
There's a 25-year difference between those
Yeah.
two?
And they don't even deny that. Well, they do say he was 15 when he met her. When he met him.
And she was 39 as a dude or a gal?
As a gal, I think. Yes, as a gal. Because she transitioned in her late 20s. Anyways, so he was 14, she was 39. The French media don't necessarily dispute it. They say he was 15 because in some
That's gross.
countries in Europe, 15 is the legal
That's
age
gross.
of consent, especially France, but they're freaks over there. France actually just bans smoking in most public places now.
Good for them. Maybe
Outdoor
they can
smoking.
mandate showers.
That's going to piss off the Frenchies. Anyways, so she was a drama teacher. He was 14. She groomed him to be in the play. She left her husband.
For a
and-
15-year-old?
Yeah, and they...
He was at school.
So they didn't get married until I think like 2011 or something. But they were together the entire time. From her being... They were inseparable.
How do you know? That doesn't
She
mean
even
you know
came
it's a
out in her
dude.
autobiography like, oh, I can't control my feelings for him anymore.
Okay,
This
but
could
that
get me into
doesn't-
trouble.
Prove that's the dude.
But so Bridget Macron's identity just came out of nowhere when it was in its mid-20s or early 30s. The 3 kids they claim she has, no. She also claimed she had a brother. So this was the real smoking gun. She claimed she had a brother. Her brother was her when she was a man before she transitioned. Once she transitioned, no record of the brother anymore. So all this, but what's really interesting is there are journalists getting locked up in France for making these claims. And you don't get in prison for defamation.
be true?
Yes. And they filed a lawsuit against Candace Owens after the first episode of her miniseries and said, you're defaming us.
Yeah, but
We'll
don't
put
have-
another
she doesn't
defamation
have to
lawsuit
listen
on
to
you.
them. They're in a different country.
Well, so she responded with, like, I'm in Tennessee. We got good old boys here. If you're messing with kids, you don't want to play around, come at me. But if you say I'm being dishonest, just tell me, is Bridget Macron a biological man, yes or no? If you answer that, honestly, I won't put any of this out. They didn't answer it. You would think if you're Bridget Macron, and a lot of people think you're actually a dude,
yeah, but
would you not be inclined to dispel it if you could?
well, there's 2 schools of thought on that. One is yes. The other one is you don't. The discussing comments like that don't warrant a response, nor are they entitled to a response.
Yeah, but you're just digging yourself a hole.
It's a matter of principle sometimes.
But you're also imprisoning people who present those
I haven't heard that
theories.
yet. I haven't heard that on.
I'll send you the Candace Owens docuseries.
Well, no, I don't want to watch what she has to say. Show me proof of what she said. Because she used to be really good, but all
She's
these
still
people are saying she's going a little goofy.
Well, you got Jordan Peterson, who is an Israeli sympathizer now, saying that she's anti-Semitic. But I like Candace Owens.
No, I showed you that picture. I sat next to her on an airplane.
Yes, you
right
did.
From Newark to D.C.
How long ago was that? That was like 5 years ago.
That was around the Kavanaugh thing, because she was sharing with me that she was missing a barbecue gathering where they were having beer for celebrating Kavanaugh's appointment or confirmation.
Mm.
And then that's when we got that. I got that T-shirt of Kavanaugh goes, "I like beer."
Yeah.
So,
I
I'll
like
wear
his
that
one
next
quote.
week. I'll wear that next week.
He was like, I would have drinks. It was automatic.
Something like that.
He's cool.
All right.
But yeah, Candace Owens is cool. Everyone, there's a whole thing going on with anti-Semitism right now that I won't even get into. So go ahead and read off something you wrote down.
I got a list of a couple things. Oh yeah.
You talk about something, then I want to talk about my video game.
This is funny. So I got a couple things. So the first one is, I saw them do a little
This is how you read. by the
local
way.
news article. These 3 women 3 African American women, probably 30 to 40, maybe 35.
Mm-hmm.
Going somewhere to, it's like a wing place down in Florida. So they have mimosas, a bunch of buffalo wings and all that. Bill comes out to $262
For 4?
for 3 of them.
For 3, so that's probably not bottomless mimosas.
And they dine and dashed. So the waitress came back with the bill. They said split it 3 ways. She takes off to split it, and they roll out one by one. Now, here's the funny thing. That's what these dumb fucking bitches did. First off, they went on Instagram, and they made a post thanking the restaurant for the free dinner. But when they showed up, there was a line. So they gave their real name and phone number to the hostess while they're fucking standing at the restaurant waiting to get a table.
So they got caught faster than those escaped prisoners in New Orleans.
Yeah. And speaking of getting caught, I brought this up to Alec, and I'm going to do some research on this for next time. It just came out because I get all these safety notices, right? So whether it's tornado warning from last night,
Oh, the kids.
or Amber Alerts or missing kids.
Yeah, I turned those
I told
off.
Alec I got different numbers. I got anywhere from
This
523
fucking cat.
to 483 missing children in the state of Virginia. Now, I'm sure the numbers are higher than that, but that's only the numbers that have been identified by state, local, or county police. And then if you look at a place like California, they have almost 2,300. So there's close to 50,000 missing children in the United States, Alec, who have been documented through the police. Now, that doesn't even take into consideration whatever the number is that they say came across the border. And they seem to think that number could be as high as 350,000. Some said it could even be 500,000.
I don't doubt it. Those kids are taken advantage of during that pass.
But those kids are in the shadows. Like, you don't know. We know who they are. I mean, the government knows who they are, but they don't know where they are, who they are, or much information. Hold on. This next group of the 50,000, somebody's looking for them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure someone's looking for below. I can't believe we have that many. So that's one of the reasons why I'm glad when Cash Patel says that they're prioritizing harm to children.
Do you say they don't want to
get these pedos out of here?
Do you say they don't want to? Do you see they don't want to release the Epstein files because it might cause a rise in anti-Semitism?
No, that's not what I heard.
That's a quote.
What I heard was that they were looking to protect the victims, and 2, there could be some tradecraft in there that they got to look at. I didn't hear that.
One thing about politics we didn't touch about. Did you see Trump wants to send illegal immigrants to Rwanda?
Why?
Just once Seacock gets filled up. He's actively getting in talks with the Rwandan government for them to accept the illegal immigrants we deport to them.
Oh, there you go.
So that could be interesting.
I wouldn't want to be in
When
Rwanda.
did we talk about the South African president?
Yeah, we talked about it last time.
That was last week. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing new. I've just been playing video games or watching videos on aviation, military aviation.
Okay, that's some good ones. I don't have anything for the book. You got, from when we wrote it, you got anything that sticks out that reminds you with health?
Well,
or finances or appearance or?
No, I mean, we've belabored these points, but I think the most important things are a clear mind that's your ally, enough sleep, and a routine.
Yeah.
And then you have your 50-30-20 rule for finances. And we've talked about trying new things and expanding your comfort zone.
All right, well, we'll make that modification for next time. And the only health hack I'll tell you this time is, I'm going to do it later. I'm going to do the red light sauna, but I'm going to take some methylene blue before I do it.
Yeah.
So the health hack is stacking. If you're taking supplements, make sure you know when to take them, what to stack them with, and whether it's another supplement, food, olive oil, MCT oil, or even some type of recovery agents.
Especially if you're working out, make sure you stack your Tren, your D-ball, and your HGH.
Stop.
All right, you pick a top 5, then I'll pick a top
Well, I want.
5.
Can I talk about this video game I've been playing?
Yeah, sure.
So the last time I talked about a video game, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, there was actually some feedback.
Oh, yeah.
People were saying, "Oh, I'm so excited to play the game. It's a really good game." That was my game of the year choice until I played this game. It's made by a French team of 30 people. Okay? Most AAA companies like Ubisoft or EA Sports have hundreds or even thousands of employees. This team of 30 people created a game called Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And the simplest way I could break it down for you to understand, you understand a turn-based game like Pokemon, right? You attack, your enemy attacks, you attack, your enemy attacks. So that's the combat. The story is every year people from this town go out into the wilderness to defeat this enemy that controls the universe, their universe, essentially.
Sounds like a wife.
Well, it's quite funny you say that. You find out later it
It's a
actually
witch.
it is it is somebody's wife, but I don't want to spoil anything because the reveal was quite interesting. But this team of 30 people made this game that became so successful. I think it sold 33 million copies in a month.
Wow.
Which, if you multiply that by 50, because that's how much the game cost, right? That's what, $150 million? No, I'm retarded. I am very
33
retarded.
times 5
That'd
is
be like
175 million.
175.
175 million.
I know.
Add a 0.
I got you.
1.75
Billion?
billion.
Oh, well, shit. So they made all that money. Their team was about 30 people. They outsourced when they could. And the game is so good, so polished, so narrative driven, and a return to form when it comes to female characters. Because female characters used to be actually like tough, hot bitches. Now female characters in video games are a feminist's view of what a woman should be. Or just
Is that a mukluk?
I don't know what that word is. Or
I thought
just
that's the
changing
heavies,
the male.
The 60-pound life.
No, changing the male protagonist to a female protagonist is usually what happens, which doesn't work
Oh,
because
like
they
that
don't
Snow
have
White
the
stupid shit. Yeah.
they don't have the same characteristics, men and women.
It's like the Valkyrie could never win Gauntlet.
Valkyrie was cool though.
She was, but she was complimentary.
Right. So this game was so
She had to be the
successful
barbarian.
that AAA companies have been calling to boycott it, and
Why?
because it turned everything they say needs to be done to make a game on its head.
Okay.
You need hundreds of staff. You need 5 to 10 years. You need hundreds of millions of dollars.
So who wants to boycott it?
Ubisoft, EA,
Why?
Activision, because it makes them look bad, essentially. That this
So when you, yeah,
double
but
A game made by 30 people
what
is more successful than these games they spent
but
10
you
years
don't
on
make
with
any
hundreds
sense.
of people.
Why would your competitor boycott your shit? They're not gonna buy it anyway.
Well, they're boycotting
always
it. They're
boycott it.
boycotting it by talking it down and trying to say it's a bad game and yada yada yada.
Yeah, give it a free press.
Yeah, so I only heard about it because they started talking shit about it.
Yeah, backfire on it.
And I'm not usually a JRPG, which is Japanese role-playing game,
Yeah.
type of person, but this one was cool. I was actually sending videos to Max because he speaks French. I'm like, what are they saying here? What is
Oh,
this?
cool.
What is that? So really fun game. Probably that game or Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is my game of the year.
All right. All right, top 5. You know what? Top 5 beaches that you've been personally. So I'll start.
Okay.
My number 1 top 5 beach I've been to. Number 1 is Mombasa
Okay.
in Kenya. Number 2 is the beach by the Two Fishes Resort. There was a embassy restaurant, R&R, rest and relaxation place there. Number 2, I'm gonna do the North Shore in Oahu when we went there.
hmm
Right.
Was that Turtle Bay or was that the place we went to where they filmed Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
That's Turtle Bay. Waikiki was on the other side.
What was the
By
first
the
place we
hotels.
went to that they used to take people for Extreme Makeover Home Edition?
Dude, I don't remember.
Do you know that I think that was Turtle Bay, because the place where they filmed Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I think was
No,
named
that was
something.
Turtle Bay.
Okay, well the place we went to first in Honolulu, whatever that's named, I preferred that place. But sorry,
We went somewhere in Honolulu?
It was the first time I went to Hawaii.
Man,
We've
well,
been to
maybe
Hawaii
it might
twice.
have been down at Waikiki Beach.
Remember I made you spend like $180 on that backpack?
And the third one is I like the beach in La Romana in Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Fourth one, I like Corolla or Duck area.
Okay.
And the fifth one, I think I'll have to take, somewhere in the Caribbean. Or Tampa. I'll take Tampa. Tampa's quite nice. Tampa St. Pete.
All right, I'll quickly do my top 5. Number 5, probably Outer Banks.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, St. Pete's Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3,
Yeah, St. Pete Beach. That's what I meant.
Number 3, that place we went to in the Bahamas. Where
Jamaica.
You had that Jamaica where you had that nanny for us.
Yeah.
And then number 1 was
Pebbles, FDR Pebbles.
Yeah. And number 1 was that
You're
place.
at number 2 now.
Oh, number 2 is Hawaii. The first place we went to,
North Shore, yeah.
which name eludes me.
Turtle Bay.
And then sure.
No, that's the North Shore.
Okay.
From that tip of that point.
I don't really think it matters at this point.
It does, because that's some of the best beach in the world.
Semantics. And then number 1, I will go with Tulunas. Remember in Singapore when I did that service trip where we went out to those huts that looked like
Indonesia, right?
Yeah, the place looked like Bora Bora.
Bora Bora.
Because they had the huts out on the water.
So that was definitely Indonesia.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got sunburned that first day and it ruined the whole trip.
And they stole all your bubble gum.
They stole all my Hubba Bubba gum, man.
Bitches.
Fucking dickheads.
Why'd you tell anybody you had it?
I don't know.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
All right. So you come up with something. We'll do a quick pick 5.
Top 5. This is an easy one. Top 5 domesticated animals.
Oh, dog got to be number 1.
Okay, so work backwards then.
Cat number would be number 2.
Okay.
Domesticated?
Yeah.
Like in the house or
any domesticated? You can include exotic pets. You can include like horses, that's in a barn.
Then horse would definitely be number 3. And then I would put in there probably birds and fish.
You can't do one-offs like people in Florida owning a gator or people in Saudi Arabia owning big cats.
Birds or fish ahead of hamsters.
So your 5th is hamster? Okay.
Bird, fish, horse, cat, dog.
Okay. But that's from 5 to 1.
Yeah.
All right. My number 5 would be a parrot just because it's funny.
Bird, yeah.
Number 4, just because I owned one, would be a firebelly toad.
Reptile.
Number 3 is a leopard spotted gecko.
That's still a reptile.
Yeah. Number 2.
You gotta do another 3.
Well, no.
They're reptiles.
All right, fine. Bird, reptile, fish, dog, cat.
Dog, cat. Okay.
Just because I'm impartial to my cats.
That's fine.
You know, apparently.
Can you imagine, Alec, if you were in school and you either had Samson or Delilah with you from like
she'd be more of a pussy hound than Samson.
That's what I was talking to Sammy the other day. I said you could definitely pull more with Delilah. Like if you had the place you had your senior year, if you had that sophomore and junior year too, and you had her.
The standard?
Well, if you just had your single place.
Yeah.
If you had your one bedroom place and you had her, you'd be pulling it all the time. The difference is... I
want to say something once you're done.
And I was saying that to your mom. I said, the difference is, though, Delilah would pull you foo-foo girls, which you're not a big fan of foo-foo girls. Sammy, on the other hand, I think would pull you the girls that you like.
Yeah.
Athletic, outgoing, like to play with a dog.
I should have had a dog, man.
Because Delilah could pull anything. Yeah. Everybody loves her.
Dude, I was explaining to somebody because some dude brought up the Charlottesville riots. And I had to explain to them, I went to UVA when those happened. But I was a pussy. I left that weekend. Because I was in Grandmark.
Right.
And you know where that bridge is?
It's not that far from
Dude, they were marching 150 feet from me. So
I
got to get out of here. I don't want to be implicated in anything. But when you mentioned that place I lived at the last year, the Standard, that was a whole different situation. Because you know this. My girlfriend at the time was the one who got me that single room before anybody else.
Yeah, with an extra couch.
And then 2 weeks into the school year, we break up, and she's the receptionist at the lobby. So every day I got to walk past my ex-girlfriend. But what I wanted to say about that place, The Standard, because you mentioned having a dog, and I was thinking about how that would piss off my neighbors. But then I realized I used to just listen to Alex Jones' InfoWars at full blast at any hour of the day. So I'm sure I already pissed off my neighbors. I don't think adding a dog to the mix would make much of a difference.
Why did you act like a dick with your neighbors, and because it's not the first place you've done that?
I think noise complaints are bullshit. I don't think they should be a law.
Really?
Yeah.
So how embarrassed were you when the neighbor over here said they didn't sleep at night because you were playing fucking Freebird from 2 in the morning to 6 in the morning when you woke up?
Not my fucking problem.
Out in the hot tub.
The only reason I bought her an edible arrangement was because she was your friends.
No, because
if you didn't like them, I wouldn't have bought them an edible arrangement.
This was our house, and you were acting like a tool. And she's a nice lady, and you know you did it because you were wrong. Yeah,
but your roommates said your neighbors that used to be over there would always complain about your TV, and you were like, "Fuck them," and you would turn your TV up.
No, you know why I said that? Because they would call me or text me and say, "Tell Alec to turn his stuff down. Alec this, Alec this." Not that they heard it, that it was you.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Fuck them. What are you going to call me?"
It wasn't even me, because my shit was here.
No, you weren't even in the house.
I had already moved out.
And no, you were out for the night or something. But it's like, call me and send me a note. Yeah. Don't say it that way.
That's a pretty petty thing only a white Karen would do, because she was a Karen.
Yeah, so it's sometimes it's the message. Oh, no, now I sound like a Democrat with Trump. Yeah. Oh.
I did like the husband, though, because I remember knocking on their door drunk at like 3 a.m. because I lost my key, and he gave me his spare key. So I liked him for that.
Yeah, you woke him up at 3 in the morning drunk.
He came to the door in his underwear with a gun, and I'm like, "Hey, neighbor, you have a key to my house, please?"
You're an idiot. All right, come up with a book.
Come up with a book. Okay.
The
Anarchist Handbook.
Dr.
Seuss. A known anti-Semite.
Because you know what? Here's the deal. If there's anybody out there who's struggling in interpersonal skills or communication skills or presentation skills, take green eggs and ham, stand in front of a mirror, look in the mirror, read the book, get your tone right, get your facial expressions right,
inflection.
Get your tempo right, get your inflection right, and practice on that. You'd be amazed. You might think I'm a dumbass for saying it, but you would be amazed. If you could get proficient in that, then go to Silent Night, the Christmas Carol.
Yeah, that's cool.
Read that one. And if you could get that one down, then there's nothing you can't do in a presentation.
I like Dr. Seuss. People call him a racist because of his caricatures, but that was a different time.
Yeah. I was trying to explain to your mom the founding of eugenics with Margaret Sanger, and she didn't believe me. I'm like, so we're going to have to get her educated.
Well, I bet you she doesn't.
And the Nazis used it.
I bet you she doesn't know what phrenology is.
They used it to take out all the minorities in the South.
Do you know what phrenology is, right? Because that was the initial stages of psychology, where they would measure people's heads.
Alec, I just made that point. All
you
right,
said.
So what's your book?
Can I do a manifesto?
As long as it's not fucking stupid or something that I'm going to get pissed about.
Ted Kaczynski's manifesto.
He's a crackpot.
All right, fine. Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard.
He's a crackpot.
Scientology.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're watching. They're always watching. We love Scientology in this house.
Shut up.
You're going to get sued.
For what?
You can't shit talk Scientology. They'll sue you. They'll follow you.
Well, you leave me alone, you dumbass.
They own this whole town. I forgot in what state, but the town's a ghost town, and because they own a shit ton of property across the country, because they bullied the IRS into tax exempt status, which is another gripe I have with them. But they own a shit ton of property in this one town, and it's essentially turned into a ghost town, and they've ran out businesses that don't conform with Scientology.
Well, can't do a
very nefarious group.
All right.
Going Clear on HBO. Okay, well, that's my movie.
Got it.
Going Clear on HBO.
What's Going Clear?
It's a documentary. It's like a 3.5 hour long documentary on Scientology.
Oh.
And they interview former members.
All right, then I'll pick an HBO one. I'll say Silicon Valley.
That's great. I just rewatched that a couple weeks ago.
T-shirt for us.
Okay. I just rewatched that a couple weeks ago. I love that.
That's a good series.
The one scene where Richard figures out middle out because they're doing the analogy of jerking off 4 dicks at one time to see how long it would take to jerk off the entire
No, I don't
conference.
I don't remember that.
That's how they figured out middle out.
All right. Okay, well, I don't know who the bitch of the week is.
You are the bitch of the week.
Why is that?
Because I say so. Because you called me stupid 5 minutes ago.
You got to. And what was the context?
I was talking about something that probably portrayed me as stupid.
Yeah, okay.
Bitch of
Did
the
I
week.
hurt your feelings?
Emmanuel Macron.
Why?
Because he married a dude that groomed him. Do something about it, France.
You know,
guys suck.
I really can't.
Pull my tighty whities off so you can wave a white flag.
I really can't figure one out.
Canada. We could just start naming countries bitches of the week.
You got Angel Reese with a.
You can't do women.
No, I know that.
No women.
Discrimination complaint that wasn't verified. You got Griner saying dumbass fucking white girl after saying everything's about racism. So that's kind of funny.
Well, didn't Brittany Griner with her first wife that lasted a month, didn't they agree to have just a surrogate child through IVF? This is what I heard.
I don't know if that's true.
And then after they got divorced, Brittany Griner's ex is requesting child support, and Brittany Griner is requesting a DNA test because she believes the DNA test was from this woman's ex-boyfriend.
So what?
And not from a surrogate.
Oh, okay.
Because if it's a surrogate, they mutually agreed on that.
Understood.
You know.
But she's still a little bit cranky, even though the U.S. got her out of that jail for having weed in Russia.
And we left behind an American hero.
Yeah, we got him back, but then they gave up Victor Boot.
You traded the Merchant of Death for Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
There's this dude. I saw this a couple days ago. I don't know. You think he was a wrestler or a combat guy in some capacity? This one dude in the Philippines got raided, and they found like 123 weed gummies. He's facing either life or death by a firing squad.
Good.
For weed gummies.
It's illegal in the country.
Okay.
Dude, in Singapore, that shit would get you killed.
They'd kill you for 3.5 grams.
Right.
Unless you had diplomatic immunity.
Look, I don't care where you are, but if you do the crime, you got to be prepared to do the time. And if you're going to play around where you could get a death sentence for a joint, and then you get caught.
Shouldn't even be in the country.
And then you complain about it. I got no sympathy.
I don't think he complained about it. I think they muzzled him.
I got no sympathy for these guys. They know, but that's why they do it, because the profit margin is so much higher. But the fuck around and find out score is astronomical.
You're such a boomer.
You're going to go to jail for gummies.
Let's talk about this. What drugs do you think?
I told you to watch Midnight Express. You haven't watched it yet.
Fuck no.
Greatest drug.
I've been watching prison.
Around.
I've been watching prison documentaries on the Aryan Brotherhood. It's fascinating.
This is a prison. I don't want to hear about that. This is a prison movie too. All right, so
hold on.
Bitch of the week, so we close this out.
I already said my bitch of the week.
Who?
Emmanuel Macron.
Huh.
And Canada.
I can't say Schumer. I can't say Hakeem Jeffries. All those other guys are doing the same stupid shit.
What about the guy in California? You said Trump had to harangue him for something. Newsom?
Nah, he didn't do anything considerably stupid. You say it's Putin for bombing the Ukrainians when you're supposed to have a...
He hit him with a bomb?
Oh, you've been bombing them considerably. Sounds like it's raining. Good thing I cut the grass. Considerably when they're supposed to be doing a peace deal.
It was raining heavy yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you get the crazy winds?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about you. You probably worried about your trees.
We had the tornado warning. Yeah, I was watching them. All right, that's it. All right, so we're going to close up. We're episode 24, May 31st. Next week, what we'll do is we'll put on the front end of the thing, our clip about who's going to be the bottom 5. We're going to have to rate and rank them.
The bottom 5 for the race? For qualifying. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is that your closing statement?
That's it.
My closing statement is I love Scientology and I hate France.
Okay. We both hate France.
Disclaimer for Generations Unplugged with Big Kel and Kahuna. This is a podcast created for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed in this podcast reflect the personal experiences and opinions of the hosts and guests. Topics like health, fitness, financial well-being, and personal development are discussed based on individual perspectives and are not intended as professional medical, financial, or psychological advice. Listeners are encouraged to consult with qualified professionals before making decisions related to health, lifestyle, or finances. Each person's journey is unique, and results may vary. The creators of Generations Unplugged disclaim any liability for actions taken based on the content of this podcast. Remember, informed decisions and expert guidance are key to building a fulfilling and balanced life.